more on the midterm election, CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett joins me. Garrett, good morning.
Good morning. It's great
Garrett,
to be here.
You got
I've been
two
called
first
worse.
names. Now,
I've been called worse.
You and David Becker have a new book out about the state of American democracy. It's called The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie. You write that this midterm and in 2024, trust itself is going to be tested. Sure,
because there is a portion of our country that suspects that the 2020 election was a fraud. Some of them believe it really was. They've told themselves it was a fraud. It wasn't. That's separate from whether you're satisfied or dissatisfied with the outcome. Democracies ask a lot of people. One of the things is you can really love a candidate, believe they're the best for the country, and they can still lose, and you have to accept that. We call that forbearance in the book. So in 2022, in just a couple of days, we're going to have election results. There will be expectations before about who's going to win, and then the results will be reported. We need to accept those results and make sure that the ballots are accurately counted, and there's a better system to make sure that accuracy exists than ever before. And then in 2024, we're going to have to go through that process again. And the next two elections, I believe, and we argue in the book, after what we saw on January 6th, we'll test what our resilience is, what our forbearance is, what our willingness to keep this great American experiment going. And part of the way we do that is to accept results even when we're dissatisfied with them.
You spoke about ballots. Let's talk about mail-in ballots. You know, they were called into question by the former president, and you have a lot to say about that.
Yes. So mail-in ballots have been used in our country in elections at least going back to the Civil War. This is not a new method of voting. It was expanded during COVID to keep people safe. And all the ways in which it was expanded was tested by the courts before the election. What do I mean by that? Some Republicans or some Democrats said, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that rule. Let's take it to a court. And the court said, here are the rules. Why is that important? Everyone who's involved in politics at the strategic side will tell you, once you know the rules, then you play the game. Everyone knew the rules. So you can't go after the election results have been reported and said, well, those rules were unfair. Wait a minute. You knew what the rules were. And for the president, specifically, he told his Republican supporters that there was something wrong with mail-in ballots. Historically, Republicans had a built-in advantage because they used mail-in ballots more. So he took a strategic advantage away from him. And in some states, particularly Georgia, that was decisive, not just in his race, but in the subsequent Senate runoffs that tilted control of that body to the Democratic Party. So that was a self-inflicted wound. You decided to do that. You've clung to that rhetoric about mail-in ballots. That's your problem. There's not a problem with the underlying system of casting and counting those ballots.
Yeah. Now, on election night, you're going to be at the decision desk for CBS News. What are you watching for in New York?
The governor's race is enormously important, and I've been talking to Democrats and Republicans who now believe this race is a 100% toss-up, which is a huge surprise to the larger sort of national political infrastructure of reporters and analysts and strategists. If you'd brought up the New York governor's race 6 or 8 weeks ago, they'd be like, what are you talking about? There's a lot of other races. Georgia Senate, Pennsylvania Senate, Wisconsin Senate. Now the the New York governor's race looks really important. The most important thing we'll be doing at the decision desk is not only going through all the data, but we hope step by step explaining exactly what it means and how we're handing it off to the audience. We want to be as transparent as possible. There is no big black box machine that suddenly belches out reports. No. We're going to tell you what the data is showing. We're going to show you where the vote is outstanding, what geography that is, what the trend lines historically have been in those areas when we say we've moved a race from toss-up to lean or likely or to a projection. Because people have to have faith and confidence in that very process so they can have faith and confidence in the ultimate result. And at the decision desk, I think our biggest burden is to be as open and clear and communicative about what we know and how we came to know it.
So true. Major Garrett, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.